Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
All right, let's take it from the top again. Places. Action.
Well, let's see, we have on the bags, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third.
That's what I want to find out.
I say, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third.
Are you the manager?
Yes.
You going to be the coach, too?
Yes.
And you know the fellow's name?
Oh, I should.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who is on first?
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who?
Yes.
Join us for another voyage back in time on Classic Radio Rewind. From adventures to westerns, from comedy to sci-fi, this is your ticket to Theater of the Mind. Without any further ado, here's your host for Classic Radio Rewind, Barry Slinker.
Thank you much, Sir Dex Rowe, and welcome to this week's edition of the Classic Radio Rewind podcast. This podcast was designed with the love of bringing the golden age of radio to the world. Whether you're a seasoned veteran of listening, if you will, or whether you were recently introduced to these great old-time radio programming, this Classic Radio Rewind podcast will always have something for everyone every week. Bringing you the best in old-time radio comedy, drama, sci-fi, mystery, suspense, horror, and westerns. We bring it all to you here each and every week, right here on Classic Radio Rewind, which is brought to you by the WOTR Radio Network. And coming up this week on Classic Radio Rewind, we will hear from Family Theater from 1954, followed by an episode from The Bob Hope Show from 1939, and closing out this week's edition is an episode from The Hermit's Cave from 1940. But leading us off is an episode from The Adventures of Michael Shayne. A man murdered in his own house has disappeared. From August 6, 1945, this is The Adventures of Michael Shayne with the episode titled The Missing Body on Classic Radio Rewind.
The Adventures of Michael Shayne, Private Detective. The people who make 76 gasoline and Triton motor oil, Union Oil Company, present The Adventures of Michael Shayne, Private Detective, starring Wally Mayer and Kathy Lewis. It's just before noon on a bright but blustery day in San Francisco. And Mike Shayne, San Francisco's favorite detective, instead of chasing criminals, is sitting peacefully in his office, academically discussing crime and its detection with his able and attractive associate, Phyllis Knight. And, oh yes, the inspector of homicide who has come to take them to lunch.
You see, Inspector, I'm not criticizing the police department when I say that I'm not bound by the rules that, well, you, for instance, are bound.
I realize that, Mike. I have to be pretty sure of my ground before I make an arrest. I have to have evidence enough to convince the district attorney, and he has to have reasonable prospects of obtaining a conviction before he goes to the grand jury.
Plus the fact that you, Inspector, can be sued for wrongful arrest, whereas we, Mike and I, never arrest anybody. We pass the buck to you.
I know all that. But what I'm getting at is this. Mike has something in the way of, well, being able to nose out a suspect that we, well, that is, most of us in the department either don't have or else don't apply.
The answer is simple. Proving it is difficult.
Let's hear it in all its simplicity.
Well, you and every other member of the department are so busy taking notes, which you have to do, that you get into the habit of reading what witnesses and suspects have to say. Whereas I listen to their tones, to their delivery. I strain my ears for the meaning behind what they say instead of the mere words.
I'll admit all that.
I think there's something else, Inspector. Although I hesitate to say this.
Don't spare my feelings, Phyllis.
No, I'm not thinking of your feelings. It's Mike's.
Oh, don't spare mine, Angel. You never do.
Oh. Well, in spite of the fact that Mike hates criminals and hates crime, I think he has a criminal mind.
Angel, what you just said.
I mean it. Mike seems to be saying to himself, if I had committed this crime, how would I go about it? Or if I were the important clue, where would I be found?
Well, that's not a criminal mind, Angel. That's just that I...
Michael Shayne, private detective.
Hi, Phil. Is the inspector there?
Oh, sure thing, Sergeant. For you, Inspector.
Uh-oh. Hope this doesn't break our lunch date. Hello, Sergeant.
Reporter Homicide, Inspector. A man named Porter called up and said he found a body at 323 Foothill.
Any idea who the murdered man is?
Porter said the man's name was Beatty. Didn't give much more information. He seemed pretty upset, not too coherent.
Okay, Sergeant. I'll meet you there as soon as I can get there.
Homicide, huh?
Yeah. Well, what do you want? Murder or lunch?
Oh, don't be silly, Inspector. We'll pass up a whole week's meals for a murder anytime.
This is the street.
Yeah. And that looks like the apartment. Right there, with a man standing on the steps.
Yeah, that's it. No signs of your boys yet, Inspector.
No, but then we were closer than headquarters. That must be Porter. Looks all upset.
Well, wouldn't you if you just found a body?
Are you, Mr. Porter?
Yes. I've been pacing up and down these steps waiting. I thought you'd never come.
Where's the body?
Upstairs, on the couch in his living room.
This isn't your house, then?
No, this is Mr. Beatty's house.
Oh.
You were visiting Mr. Beatty?
I called to take him to lunch.
When?
Just before I called the police. Not more than 20 minutes ago. In this way, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I went in, and there he was lying on the couch. There was a knife sticking out of his chest. I ran over to him, felt for his heart, and got my fingers all sticky with blood.
You shouldn't have touched the body.
Well, I didn't know it was a body. He might still have been alive. Had he been, I would have called a doctor before I called the police.
That makes sense.
Where is he? In this room?
On the couch there. He, but he must be.
Body? There's no body on this couch.
But he was there.
Maybe you were mistaken. Maybe he wasn't dead.
Oh, but he was dead. He was cold. He was bleeding. His heart wasn't beating.
Ugh.
What's the matter, Angel?
Oh, there's blood on the couch. I just got my hand in it.
So you're right. Here, use my handkerchief.
Thank you.
Well, if he was dead, someone must have removed him.
But they couldn't, Inspector. There's only one entrance to the apartment through the front door.
There's no back door to the apartment?
No, and I've been here all the time. I haven't been out of the sight of that front door since I discovered his body. I feel sick. I've got to sit down.
Okay, now calm yourself. I don't blame you for being upset. But we'd better get this straightened out.
Mr. Porter, tell us what you did from the very start.
Well, I told you. I came to take him to lunch.
If he was dead, how did you get in?
Well, the door was open, and that's funny, too, because he was always careful about locking and bolting it.
Go on. The door was open, so you went in?
I found him, and when I saw he was dead, I phoned the police. You'll probably find my bloody fingerprints on the phone.
Yes. Then what did you do?
Well, I walked up and down, and I went to the front door. I came back, and... Oh, I remember. I saw the mail lying in the hallway. I absently, almost unthinkingly, picked it up.
Where did you put it?
On the table there.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Oh, the wind must have blown it on the floor. There. That's it?
That's it.
Then you did what?
Well, that's all. I walked back and forth, and I'd walk downstairs to the front door to look for the police, and then I'd come back.
And you were never out of sight of that hallway and front door?
No, not for 1 second.
Well, it's a cinch that even Houdini couldn't take a body out this back window.
That window was open?
Yes.
Oh. No signs of anything on the sill.
No, and even if there were, Mike, look there. Workmen working on that building would be bound to see anything like that.
Yeah, you're right, Angel.
You up there, Inspector?
Yeah, come upstairs.
Well, what do you think, Inspector?
I don't know what to think. What's more, I don't know what to do.
Oh, what do you mean you don't know what to do?
Well, to put it bluntly, how do I go about finding a murderer when I haven't even got a body?
But there was a body, and there has been a murder committed. You can't talk like that about not doing anything.
The man's right, Inspector.
I know perfectly well he's right. But why don't you suggest something?
All right, I will.
What?
Let's go hunt a body.
We'll return to the Adventures of Michael Shayne in just a moment. You know, you hear a lot about magical post-war products and how easy they're going to make your life. Well, friends, one such product is here already. Yes, that's right. It's Union Oil Company's Luster Wash, a product that makes washing your car just about the easiest, simplest thing you've ever done. All you do is empty a small package of Union Luster Wash into a pail of water. Using an ordinary rag, apply the mixture generously over the car. Then, just rinse off with the hose, and you're all through. In 10 to 15 minutes, your car is clean from radiator cap to taillight. No fuss, no bother, no mess. Union Luster Wash is harmless to the car finish and to your hands, yet cleans as fast as you can apply it, and without the usual elbow grease. Luster Wash is not a soap, but a special detergent compound which dissolves road film and traffic dirt on contact, leaving the surface clean and smooth. You'll be amazed at how fast it works and how clean it makes your car. A package of Luster Wash sells for only 10 cents and is enough to wash any average car. Remember the name, Luster Wash, for a new, easy way to wash your car. You can get Luster Wash at any Union Oil Minuteman station. Just drive in wherever you see the sign of the big orange and blue 76. Thank you. Mike, Phyllis, and the inspector have been confronted with a murder, a man who saw the victim, but so far, no corpse. They've finished searching the apartment and stand looking at one another.
Well, if there's a body in this house, it must be in small pieces and hidden in cracks in the walls.
There's certainly no body in this apartment.
But, Inspector, Mr. Shayne, I saw it.
We know, Mr. Porter, but it isn't here now.
Look, we've all had our say on the body. Let's change to something else.
We pretty well covered the apartment. Not only us, but the sergeant and his boys.
We couldn't find a thing amiss.
Granted. So let's take a look at the murdered man's mail.
Oh, here it is. I put it on this end table.
Oh, thanks. Ad from flower shop. Oh, open this one, Inspector.
Okay.
Here's another ad. And you open this one, Angel.
All right.
I'll tackle this one.
Hey, Mike.
What?
Listen. I warned you for the last time. Settle up or else. Signed. I can't read the initials, but the signature looks like Reynolds.
Oh, that must be...
Yeah? Tell us more.
Well, I don't know very much, but Reynolds and another man by the name of Weaver went into some sort of a deal with Beatty. They felt that Beatty had swindled them. Not in the way that they could go to law, you understand, but in such a way that Beatty didn't lose his money, but they lost theirs. And Beatty told me that he'd been threatened by them. He told me he was worried, but that was all.
Why the dickens didn't you tell me this before?
Oh, because I didn't think it was important. You surely don't think that either Reynolds or Weaver would kill Beatty over a thing like that?
We don't know, but it's our only lead so far. Wouldn't you say so, Mike?
Oh, not exactly, but it's one we've got to follow up, of course.
You'll return home, Mr. Porter?
Yes, of course. I'll be there if you need me.
Okay. Let's go, Phil, Mike. We'll go in my car. Let's see. The address on this stationery of Reynolds is Stats Building.
I'll stay behind, Inspector, just in case of any phone calls or anything like that.
Watch out, Sergeant.
Doesn't anybody want to know what was in the letter I opened?
Huh?
Why, you little... I wondered why you were so quiet all of a sudden.
What is it, Phil?
No, I didn't want to read it while we were in the room.
You think we'd better wait till we reach the car?
Oh, no. We're out of earshot.
Okay, shoot.
It says, I don't suppose I should care what happens to you, but just the same, you are a fool. I've told you before that I don't trust Porter, and I'm more sure of it now than ever before.
What's the signature?
There isn't any. But although it's written on a typewriter, I'll make you a bet.
What?
What?
I'll bet you this warning was sent by a woman.
Eighth floor, please.
Yes, sir, 8th floor. Number 8, sir.
There's Reynolds' office right down the hall.
Yeah, there's a man just going in.
Yeah, we might be in luck. That might be Weaver.
Something tells me that this isn't going to be very profitable.
Well, we'll soon see.
Yes? May I help you?
We'd like to see Mr. Reynolds.
Mr. Reynolds is busy just now. If you'd care to wait, he has someone with him.
The someone with him isn't by any chance Mr. Weaver.
Well, yes, it is, but how... Oh, you saw him come in just before you did.
Then if it is Mr. Weaver, that's most fortunate, because we want to see both gentlemen.
Well, I don't know. I'll ring Mr. Reynolds.
Please don't. We're on police business, and we'd rather go in unannounced.
Oh, but I...
Well, and to what do I owe this intrusion? Isn't my receptionist out there?
Your receptionist isn't at fault, Mr. Reynolds. I'm from police headquarters. We'd like to ask a few questions.
Police? What on earth for?
You sent this threatening letter, Mr. Reynolds?
Let me see. Yes, I did. And I'll send more if I don't get satisfaction.
Satisfaction for what, sir?
I don't think it is anyone's business.
It's police business, Mr. Reynolds. Now, we can all be very comfortable and save a lot of time by getting our answers here. But, of course, if you prefer headquarters... then that's your privilege.
No. Well, if Beatty has been fool enough to report this letter to the police, I'll tell you all you want to know.
We'd like to know why you wrote the letter.
Briefly, Beatty, Mr. Weaver here, and I put up equal amounts of money into an enterprise. It was at Beatty's inducement. Beatty had the inside track on the thing. He knew before we did that the venture wasn't going well. He withdrew his money without giving us a chance to withdraw ours.
And the venture folded.
It did, and...
Go on, sir.
Reynolds and I feel that Beatty should share the loss with us.
In other words, you feel that Beatty should split what he got out of the deal 3 ways with you, too.
Yes. Legally, of course, we can't compel him. Morally, we feel entitled to it.
Where does Mr. Porter fit into this scheme?
Porter? He doesn't fit in at all. He's just a real estate man who helped Reynolds find a warehouse.
A personal friend of Reynolds?
Well, yes.
You said warehouse. Is the warehouse being used, Weaver?
No, we still have a lease on it, but the business folded 3 weeks ago.
And the warehouse is empty?
Yes, quite empty.
You have the keys.
I do. You want to borrow them?
Yes. Thanks.
Now, one more question. Where is the warehouse?
It's at 2200 Key Street. Beatty, Weaver, and Reynolds is on the signboard.
Boy, what a rat trap.
Yeah? Well, here's hoping it's more than just a rat trap. A man trap.
Yeah, this looks like the key. Well, yeah, here we go.
All right, now careful where you walk. Remember, they said the business folded 3 weeks ago. There should be enough dust on the floor to show footprints.
The place is empty enough.
There are footprints leading to that cubbyhole of an office.
Well, leave us have a look-see. There's not a blessed thing in here, except this old table. Take a look, Phil, Inspector.
Yeah.
You noticed how the dust is disturbed? On the edge of the table, next to the wall.
That means that table was moved.
Yeah. Now, it may not mean a thing, but keep it in mind.
Outside of that rickety chair out in the warehouse, that seems to be everything.
No loose boards or hidden closets or anything?
Nah, pretty much of a blank.
Mike?
Yeah?
Inspector.
Yeah?
Here. Take a look at this chair. I may be wrong, but...
What is it, Angel?
Oh, look, that spot. Dry, shiny. It looks like brown paint, but it...
Could be blood, huh?
Does look like blood. One single drop.
If it is a blood spot, it dropped from quite a height. You see how it's spread out like a sea? Inspector.
Yeah?
That table. Let's get it out here, right in the center of the floor.
Okay.
Now, the chair on top of the table.
Yeah.
Mike, that ventilator in the roof.
Right, Angel, right?
I didn't notice it till now.
Oh, it's a common failing. People never lift their eyes high enough. Now, give me a hand, Inspector.
Okay.
I hate to twist an ankle, even on a murder case. There.
Any luck?
Yes. Yes, blood on the edge of the vent.
You need a flashlight, Mike?
The body's here, all right. Close to the eaves and lying along the rafters.
That'll do till the police surgeon gets here.
Yeah, okay. Phil, will you make an inventory of all the stuff as we search it?
Mm-hmm. Shoot.
Okay. Leather wallet, identity card, J.J. Beatty. Driver's license, age 52.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was stabbed twice, Mike. Once in the back, and that was the stab that killed him.
Stabbed again in the chest, eh?
Looks that way. Autopsy will tell us definitely.
Mm-hmm. Pocket handkerchief.
Okay, 1 or 2.
One in trouser pocket, one folded in breast pocket of coat.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Checkbook, balance, $800, 30 cents.
Any stubs to Porter, Reynolds, or Weaver?
No, Mike. Seems to be all for light bills, gas bills, department store purchases, things like that.
Pipe, tobacco pouch, and book of matches.
Yeah.
Bill clip with $25 in loose cash. 3 silver dollars, 90 cents, and 2 streetcar tokens.
Old-fashioned gold watch and chain. Watch engraved, J.J. Beatty, from fellow workers, Wadsworth Plant, Kansas, 1913.
Uh-huh.
Fountain pen and pencil. And that seems to be it.
Okay, then. That's all.
Got it? Got it all down in my own inimitable shorthand.
So, that's all, is it?
What do you mean, Mike?
Yeah. Why that cat that ate the canary look on your face?
Once before, I told you that something was so blamed obvious that I wasn't going to tell you what it was.
Oh, we remember, Daddy.
Okay. The same thing applies here. Now, come on, let's get going.
I don't know where you'd like to go, but I'd like to put in a phone call.
Who to, Phil?
First, to Mr. Beatty's wife, if he has one, ex or otherwise, to see if she wrote that warning note to Beatty.
One run. Go ahead.
If no Mrs. Beatty exists, then to the little receptionist at Reynolds' office for additional...
2 runs, no errors. I'm with you.
Good. And I'd like to use a police teletype.
I'm with you on that one, Mike. We'll teletype Kansas to see what associates Mr. Beatty had in the days of his past. But I'm still puzzled about what you seem to know that we don't.
I don't know a thing that you don't know, Inspector. I'll give you one hint. Just one. But you mustn't ask any more questions.
I'll bite. Go ahead.
Just put your hands in your pockets, Inspector. That's all. Just put your hands in your pockets.
In just a moment, we'll return to Mike and Phyllis. Ladies and gentlemen, a few minutes ago, we told you about a sensational new way to wash your car. Now, if you think that there can't be anything new about washing a car, well, just try Union Luster Wash. You see, Luster Wash is a special detergent compound that makes washing a car just about the easiest, simplest thing you've ever done. All you do is empty a small package of Union Luster Wash into a pail of water. Then, with an ordinary rag, apply the mixture generously. To finish, you simply rinse the car with a hose. That's all. No rubbing or elbow grease is necessary. In 10 to 15 minutes, your car is clean from radiator cap to tail light. Luster Wash cleans glass and chromium, too, which means you don't have to use a chamois afterwards. It's harmless to the finish and to your hands, and leaves no film to dull the surface. No matter how dirty your car may be, Union Luster Wash will wash it as swiftly as you can apply it. A package sells for just 10 cents, 1 dime, and is enough to wash any average car. Remember the name, Union Luster Wash, for a new, easy way to wash your car. You can buy Luster Wash at all Union Oil Minuteman stations. Just drive in wherever you see the sign of the big orange and blue 76. Thank you. Mike Shayne, Phyllis, and the inspector are at headquarters. Phyllis is on the phone. Mike is looking at his notes, and every few minutes, the inspector guiltily puts his hands in his pockets, pulling them out again when he catches Mike's eye.
Doggone you, Mike. You got me as self-conscious as a giggling schoolgirl.
It's your own fault, Inspector, your own fault. If the solution of the murder depended on it, I'd tell you right now, but, well, it's only one link.
Hush, kids.
Huh?
She's on the phone.
Who?
The ex-Mrs. Beatty.
Oh.
Hello?
Mrs. Beatty.
Yes?
Mrs. Beatty, don't hang up when you hear my question, because if you do, you'll be called right back, and that will be by the police.
Yes. Go on.
Did you by any chance send a note of warning to Mr. Beatty? Well, Mrs. Beatty?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Well, it's hard to explain, but there was something about this Mr. Porter I didn't trust. Oh, I haven't seen much of Mr. Beatty these last few years, but I've met him socially several times when he's been with this man Porter.
Mm-hmm. Go on, Mrs. Beatty.
Well, that's all. I have only a woman's intuition for not trusting Mr. Porter. He reminds me of someone. I can't remember who, but someone not to be trusted.
And that's all?
Honestly, that's all.
Thanks very much. Well, there's not much there. She sent the note, but just womanly intuition made her distrust Porter.
You think she was telling the truth?
Well, yes, don't you?
Not entirely. Not the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes?
Report from Kansas, sir.
Bring it in, Sergeant.
Yes, Inspector. I'll get it typed up.
Doggone, if there isn't something in the Kansas report, we're going to have a regular unsolved mystery on our hands.
Wouldn't like to call in Sherlock Holmes or Father Brown, would you?
Oh, Mike, this is serious. This is murder.
I know it is, Inspector. Now, look, both of you.
Yeah?
Yeah?
When we burst in on Reynolds and Weaver, they didn't show any signs of knowing that Beatty was dead. I mean, they were wholly taken up with the idea that Beatty had brought the police into it because of the threatening letter.
That's right.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Reynolds said that if that letter didn't bring results, he'd send more letters.
Right, Angel, right. And although that could be cleverness, I'd be inclined to mark it down as truthfulness.
You may be inclined to mark it down that way, Mike, but until we have the murderer in our hands, everybody who ever knew Beatty is a suspect in my little list.
Granted, Inspector, but Weaver didn't hesitate to give us the keys to the warehouse.
You can't lay too much stress on that, though, Mike. Both Weaver and Reynolds knew that we could get into that warehouse without keys.
True, but to be able to carry off their interview with us with such savoir-faire would indicate that they were very clever and very experienced crooks, which I, for one, don't believe they are.
Yeah, but Mike, murderers don't have to be crooks. Many a killing is a criminal's first and last crime.
I know that, Inspector. I'm thinking out loud to convince myself. You see, what I...
Yes, sir. Not much, I'm afraid. Let's see what this says. Only connection Beatty ever had with police was his witness in robbery trial. His testimony was essential in proving guilt of defendant.
And the defendant's name was Porter.
Yes, Phil, the defendant's name was Porter.
Well, what are we waiting for? That's it.
No, not quite, Phil. You see, Porter died in a penitentiary in 1936.
Oh, well, then of course it isn't the same Porter.
That report doesn't say whether or not Porter had a brother.
No, Mike, it doesn't.
But I'd be almost willing to bet that he had. What so many women like to call woman's intuition is nothing more or less than a half-forgotten incident or something half-heard and half-forgotten.
You think that Mrs. Beatty's instinctive dislike for Porter is because of the name or a likeness between the Porter who found the body and the Porter who went to jail?
Yes, Inspector, that's exactly what I do mean.
Well, that shouldn't be hard to find out. But it still isn't the stuff that convinces district attorneys or grand juries.
No, Inspector, but on the face of it, I think another interview is justified.
Interview? Who with?
All of our suspects, Weaver, Reynolds, Porter, and Mrs. Beatty.
All right, Mike. We've got nothing to lose.
We have everything to gain. You see, our chief suspect holds the key to this little mystery, and we'll find that key at 323 Foothill.
Well, I can understand why it's...
Quiet, please. Quiet. Now, to some of you, this is going to be somewhat of a shock. But Mr. Beatty has been murdered.
What?
We found the body in the warehouse you used, Mr. Reynolds and Mr. Weaver. But Mr. Porter had the distinction of finding it first, although he lost it again. Will you take over from there, Mr. Porter?
Well, I came here this morning to take Mr. Beatty to lunch. The door was open, which was funny because he was very careful about locking and bolting the door. I came upstairs, found him lying on the couch, stabbed through the chest. I ran over and felt him to see if he was alive. Found he was dead and called the police.
And got your fingers all sticky with blood?
Yes. Then I wandered about the apartment. Went downstairs to the front door to watch for the police and came back upstairs and picked up the mail.
The mail which contained the threatening letter from Mr. Reynolds and the warning from Mrs. Beatty.
I don't know about that, but anyway, when you arrived, we all came upstairs and the body was gone. It couldn't have been taken out the front door because I was never out of the sight of the head of the stairs.
And we know it wasn't taken out the back because there's no back door. Would you have any explanation for that, Mr. Reynolds?
No, I can't see how.
Or you, Mr. Weaver?
No explanation.
And I'm sure that Mrs. Beatty hasn't.
Oh, no, it's completely baffling to me.
It was to us for quite a while. The reason it was baffling was because we were stupid enough to believe Mr. Porter.
What?
If you picked up the letters after you examined the body and after you phoned the police, how come there are no blood-stained fingerprints on any of them?
And with the wind blowing so hard that it blew the mail off the table, how come the front door was open? It would have blown shut.
And if the body couldn't be taken out the back window and you never lost sight of the front door, how could the body be spirited away?
I don't know. That's the mystery.
No mystery, Porter. Just a tissue of lies, well rehearsed. The body never was here.
But the blood on the couch?
Put there by you after you had hidden the body in the warehouse rafters.
Oh, this is absurd. You can't throw accusations around like that.
We can and we will. Give me your keys.
My keys?
Yes, the keys in your pocket. There, you see? When we searched Mr. Beatty's dead body, we found everything a man usually carries. A wallet, pen and pencil, watch, checkbook, handkerchief. But, Inspector...
Yes?
No keys. No keys to get into his house or anything. Now, what Porter did with the rest of Beatty's keys, I don't know. But here's the key to the warehouse. F24 is its number. It checks with the number of your key, Mr. Weaver.
Yes, that's right.
And one of these two keys is the key to Beatty's apartment. This apartment. Shall I try them, Porter, or do you admit it?
I admit it.
Okay, Inspector. I guess that takes care of that.
Well, here it is, early in the evening, and we're on our way home.
Aha! But we're not on our way home, Angel.
No? Where are we going?
We're going to meet the inspector and have a late snack at Fisherman's Wharf.
Oh, good. Mike, I wonder if Porter is a brother of the man who died in the penitentiary.
Oh, I'm sure of it. He'd better be.
Why?
Because if he isn't, we'll spend the evening talking to the inspector about motives.
Oh. And what would you rather do, Mike Shayne?
Are you asking me or taunting me?
Well, I just, Mike.
Huh?
No, not here in the car. I mean...
Why not, Angel? I can drive with one hand as well as the next.
Tune in again next week at 8 o'clock for another adventure with Michael Shayne, Private Detective, starring Wally Mayer and Kathy Lewis, with Joe Forte as the inspector. Tonight's story, based on the character created by Brett Halliday, was written and directed by David Taylor. Music was composed and directed by Bernard Katz. This is John Lang saying goodnight for the people who make 76 gasoline and Triton Motor Oil. Union Oil Company. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
That was The Adventures of Michael Shayne with the episode titled The Missing Body from August 6th, 1945. Coming up next on Classic Radio Rewind is Family Theater, a weekly half-hour drama anthology from the Mutual Network that ran from 1947 to 1957. In this episode, hosted by Grace Kelly and starring Edmund O'Brien, a convict on death row awaiting execution tells the story of how he met Mr. Jordan. From its final year on the air of September 1st, 1957, this is Family Theater with the episode titled Stopwatch Finale.
Family Theater presents Grace Kelly and Edmund O'Brien. From Hollywood, the Mutual Network, in cooperation with Family Theater, presents Stopwatch Finale, starring Edmund O'Brien. And now, here is your hostess, Grace Kelly.
Family Theater's only purpose is to bring to everyone's attention a practice that must become an important part of our lives if we're to win peace for ourselves, peace for our families, and peace for the world. Family Theater urges you to pray. Pray together as a family.
And now to our transcribed drama, Stopwatch Finale, starring Edmund O'Brien as Ed Gibson.
Concerning Edward Gibson, legally tried and condemned to death in the Riverton Death House, there are these unusual facts to remember. No word from the governor yet.
Time's going fast, Warden.
Oh, get your mind off the time, Gibson. Can I get you any magazines?
No, thanks. I think I'll just wait. What's the time?
Oh, exactly 4 minutes after 5.
Yeah. That makes it 6 hours, roughly.
Right.
6 hours to live.
I wouldn't keep thinking about it, Gibson.
You wouldn't, huh?
I'd do something. Get my mind on other things.
What, for instance?
Oh, I'd read the Bible or something.
You're asking me to read a Bible when I've got 6 hours to live?
Oh, I can't figure a better time to read one.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. They all do it, I suppose.
If you want, I'll get the chaplain, too.
You don't need chaplains or Bibles, Warden, when you don't believe in God.
Gibson, you wouldn't be trying to fool me, would you? I think you're a pretty decent fellow.
Decent fella, huh?
Yeah.
When they tried me and found me guilty, you still say that, huh?
That's right.
Oh, thanks, anyway.
That's one of the reasons why I mentioned the chaplain. You've got 6 hours to live.
Roughly 5 hours and 40 minutes, Warden.
All right. Now, Gibson, with 5 hours, 40 minutes to live, do you mean to tell me that it's just going to be all over for you tonight? Just a plain blackout?
That's right. They throw the switch on you, and then it's curtains. It's quick. You get cold. It's over.
Nothing more?
Nothing more. Just curtains.
In other words, you just don't believe in God.
Warden, how much time did you say I had left?
5 hours and 40 minutes.
5 hours and 40 minutes. Warden, if I had 5 years and 40 minutes, 500 years and 40 minutes, I still wouldn't believe in God.
That's on the level, Gibson?
Sure. Why should an electric chair make me change my mind?
Thought I'd drop by and see you again, Gibson.
Thanks, Warden.
How you doing?
Okay.
Want anything to help you pass the time?
No, thanks anyway. I appreciate it.
Don't mention it.
What's the time now?
7:23.
Leaves me about 3 hours and a half. 3 hours and a half to live.
I can stay here if you want and talk to you.
Warden?
Yeah?
What would you do with 3 hours and a half? I mean, your last 3 hours and a half.
I'd probably get a few stiff hookers into me.
Yeah. Yeah, I could get a drink, couldn't I?
Anything you want, Gibson.
To be honest with you, Warden, I never cared much for the stuff. Maybe a glass of beer now and then.
You want beer? I can get you.
No. It's something you can't explain.
Yeah, I know what you mean. How'd you like the dinner we sent over?
Oh, good. Swell dinner, Warden.
You didn't eat much.
Oh, I just wasn't hungry, that's all. Hey, you got a cigarette?
Sure.
No word from the governor yet?
Nope, nothing. Here's the pack.
Thanks.
Light?
Yeah, thanks. Cigarette tastes good. I like to smoke, Warden. I always like to smoke.
Honest, Gibson, I wish you had 1,000,000 years to smoke.
Yeah, 1,000,000 years.
There's nothing else I can do for you, is there?
Sure there is. You can give me the keys and let me walk out the front door.
Offhand, Gibson, I'd say you're one of the fellows I'd like to let out the front door.
You think so?
Yeah, I followed your case.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the whole country followed my case, according to my lawyer. It's a pretty good show, you got to admit. Maybe if I'd never gone into that...
What's the matter?
Huh? No, that's nothing. I just keep thinking, that's all.
Sure, I know what you mean.
You know, it's funny how things can happen to you. I'm here in this death house tonight because I walked into a restaurant one day. Would you believe it?
A restaurant?
Yeah. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't walked into that restaurant.
What happened?
Well, I can trace it right back to that day in the restaurant when she said...
May I take your order, sir?
Oh, yeah, I'd like a steak, Miss Porterhouse. And make it on the rare side, huh?
Mm-hmm. Vegetables?
Yeah, spinach and potatoes. Oh, only no cream on the spinach.
Plain spinach.
Yeah, that's right.
Coffee?
Yep, you can bring me a cup of coffee, too.
Yes, sir.
It began with something as simple as that, giving an order to a waitress. She wasn't what you'd call beautiful, kind of a short girl, brown eyes, dark hair, Latin type you'd call her. I fell for her, Warden. I fell about as hard as a guy could fall for a girl.
What happened then?
I married her. We went together 6 months, and we had the wedding. It was okay, too. Real church wedding, bells, organ, rice, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had good times together, too. Louise and I had a good job, bricklayer. Had 3 kids, too. I just can't figure it out. I mean, it should have worked the other way.
What do you mean, Gibson? What other way?
I mean about the house. We figured it was just about everything we wanted. You know how people like to get out of cheap flats? You figure if you have a nice house, good big rooms, well, it's a place you can be proud of, a place you can invite people to, your friends. Louise always wanted a nice house.
I see.
And I got her a house. Boy, Warden, you should have heard her that first day when I showed it to her.
Oh, Eddie, it's beautiful.
How do you like it, Louise, huh? Hasn't it got everything I told you?
Oh, it's beautiful, Eddie. Come on, let's look around.
Hey, you can't compare this with that old flat, can you, Louise? Huh? Look at those walls, huh? Solid.
And Eddie, tile in the kitchen. Green tile.
Yeah, you like that stuff, huh? I knew you would. Oh, this is first class, honey.
Oh, Eddie, I'm so happy.
Hey, where'd you see the rooms upstairs, Louise?
Are they big?
Big. You get lost in them, they're so big. And the windows, they'll knock your eye out. They open sideways instead of up and down. They're the kind of windows that go in a house like this.
Hey, Eddie, when you walk on the stairs, they don't creak.
Creak? Well, you can fall down these stairs and they won't creak. You don't think I paid out cash for a matchbox, do you, honey? And honey, look here. Brass knobs on the door. First class, huh?
Oh, Eddie, it's wonderful.
One family, suburban brick model, Warden. Cost me about all I had, too.
It was a good investment, Gibson.
Yeah, that's what everybody said. Say, you don't have to listen to all this, Warden. I appreciate you coming here like this.
Oh, it's all right, Gibson. Go ahead, I don't mind. Talk all you want. My time's my own.
Yeah. Time and talk. Doesn't do much good talking, does it?
That was about the time you met this Jordan fellow, wasn't it? I mean, the papers covering your trial, they said something
Yeah,
about...
that's right. Jordan lived down the street. I commuted with him practically every day on the 816. I never really understood Jordan those first 6 months. Quiet kind of fellow. Almost lonesome. One day I invited him over to my house. We were sitting around that night, and before I knew it, we got to talking on religion. You know how people get off on that subject when you have a get-together? Everyone sooner or later bringing in religion.
Now, please don't misunderstand me, Gibson. I'm not trying to disparage any man's belief. You and Louise happen to be, well, like my own folks. They went to church, too. Respectable, conscientious type of people. Well, that was their like, their belief. And I take my hat off to them.
Yeah, I understand that, Jordan. But you say this religion stuff is a lot of malarkey, am I right?
Well, that's putting it a bit too roughly, Gibson.
Yeah, but you said
I merely said that I don't believe in a God.
Oh, you mean you really don't believe in God, Mr. Jordan?
That's right.
Now, let me get this straight, Jordan. You don't believe in God, you don't believe in heaven, you don't believe
As
in...
I see it, Gibson, God, heaven, hell, and all the assorted angels, archangels, and devils are merely ancient superstitions which persist in disturbing the modern mind. Now, understand, I don't question the convenience of having a religion.
The convenience?
Yeah, the propriety, the usefulness of having a religion. It keeps a lot of frustrated people happy. The reward motive, you know.
What? And you don't believe in prayer?
Well, if there's no God to pray to, why should I believe in prayer?
Or a soul, either?
Yes, what about the soul?
Just a minute. I do believe the soul factor. It's the principle of activity. Dogs have them, cats, caterpillars, and even man. But when you start talking to me about an immortal soul, well, that's where I draw the line.
Where do you draw the line, Jordan?
6 feet under the daisies when my time comes. Gibson, my boy, after I pass out of the picture, my soul won't go up or down or sideways, which precludes the ugly business of having to stand before some inquisitive creator to render an account of the innumerable benches I've been on.
Why, Mr. Jordan.
You really believe that, Jordan?
Believe it? I not only believe it, I preach it. It's a hobby of mine. Playing the part of the naughty disillusioner.
Well, I mean, if there's no God, as you say, then, well, what about the commandments?
Oh, the commandments. Well, they're an unusual code of the mores, allegedly dictated by some almighty Jehovah person with appropriate thunder and lightning.
Now, wait a minute. You mean the commandments didn't come from God, like it says in the Bible?
Well, if there isn't a God, I don't see how they could.
Oh, but Mr. Jordan...
Excuse me, Louise.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Eddie.
Well, you see, it's a peculiar...
Now, just hold on a minute, Jordan. Boy, I'm telling you got me in a state where I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I mean, well, everything I ever knew about the commandments and sin.
Sin. Eddie, sin is merely being caught at what society says we ought not get caught at.
Society?
Mm-hmm. That's my opinion.
And if you're not caught, Jordan?
Well, if you're not caught, Eddie, well, then you're a free man.
Caught, that's a little word, Warden. They caught me.
But what else about this Jordan fella?
Jordan? Well, he had me mixed up ever since that talk we had in the house. I was trying to figure out some arguments, proof about the things I used to believe in, God and things. But I wasn't too quick on the trigger. Oh, that Jordan was a clever egg. I had to admit it, right to his face. Jordan, you certainly can dish that stuff out. Boy, you got me bamboozled.
Well, maybe you're beginning to see the light, Eddie.
Well, I don't know. The more I begin to think of those...
Say, tell you what. I want you to come with me tomorrow night.
Where?
Jefferson Circle. I have a regular audience down there every Thursday night.
You mean you really make speeches in Jefferson Circle?
Oh, it's a real study. The faces of the people, Eddie. They're like a bunch of scared kids when I give them the works.
What do you mean, the works?
I call it my stopwatch finale.
Stopwatch finale, that's what he called it.
What did he mean, stopwatch finale?
It's an old gag, Warden. You get out in front of the people and you pull out a stopwatch. Stopwatch. The time's really going, isn't it, Warden? My God, I'm talking as if I had 1,000,000 years to live. Did you hear what I just said, Warden?
You mean about...
Yeah. I said, my God. It's a kind of habit, I guess.
Gibson, are you sure you don't want me to get the chaplain for you?
No, I'm walking out on my own steam, Warden. Let's see. Where was I?
You were saying something about a stopwatch.
Oh, yeah. Well, this Jordan used to go down at Jefferson Circle every Thursday night. Get up on a platform in front of the people, and he'd say... And he had a swell voice, too. He'd say...
And in conclusion, to prove that I'm sincere, to prove to you that no so-called God could have created this starring, this dying world, to prove that this so-called almighty God, if he does exist, is the biggest bungler and the most colossal criminal the human mind can conceive. To prove to you that there is no God, I now serve notice on His Majesty. If what I say is not true, then I defy God to strike me dead on this platform within 5 seconds. I'm timing you, God. Do you hear me? I am giving you 5 seconds to strike me dead if what I say is not true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you.
So that's what he calls stopwatch finale, eh?
Yeah. Well, you know the rest of the story. Happens to thousands of people, I guess. You're going along, living, working, trying to raise kids, live normal. Then boom. It's like lightning the way it hits you. You don't figure on it. You just a simple headache. That's how I came to know first. I had a headache that day, and I left the job early. I went home, opened the door of my house, and I heard the laughing in the other room. I opened the parlor door, Ward, and my wife jumps out of the chair like a scared rabbit almost. I wondered why she was so nervous all of a sudden. And I looked at him. Jordan.
Your wife is really a sketch, Eddie. Most delightful sense of humor.
Louise.
You're home early, darling.
Yeah, I got a headache.
The old sinus trouble, Ed?
No, it's just an ordinary headache.
Mr. Jordan dropped in for some tea.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't mind excusing me if I go upstairs, huh?
You're not sick, are you, darling?
No, a couple of aspirins will fix it up. Go ahead. Don't let me disturb you. That's what I thought, Warden. A couple of aspirins would fix it up. I couldn't get that other feeling out of my head. I thought about it for weeks. Maybe I was wrong. I hope maybe I was wrong and that Louise was only... And then Jim Holloway, he's my brother-in-law. Well, Jim came up to me one day.
You working hard, Eddie?
Yeah, they keep me going when the weather is right. You know how it is with bricklaying, Jim.
What have you got out there in the backyard?
Oh, I'm building a little garage, laying the bricks myself. Didn't Louise tell you about it?
No, that kid sister of mine never tells me a thing.
You know, some of these days, Jim, I'm going to get a car. Louise and the kids will enjoy a trip to the beach and up to the country. I think Louise ought to get out more. She ought to have more fun. You know how it is with women. Staying home all day with the kids. It's no fun. Kind of washes them out. After I get a car, you know...
Ed.
Huh?
I came over to see you for something special. You don't mind if I tell you something?
No, go right ahead, Jim.
Well, now, I don't want you to get excited. Don't want you to go losing your head or anything.
What do you mean?
Well, maybe I should keep quiet. I'm going out on a limb, and I'm doing it because I like you, Ed.
What's on your mind?
Now, it may be only rumors.
Yeah? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, if I were you, I'd keep my eye on that guy Jordan.
What do you mean?
I mean, Louise.
Yeah, Louise. Thanks, Jim. Thanks a lot.
So that's how you first found out about it, Gibson. Oh, it's a dangerous thing going around with stories like that, even if it's the truth.
Jim thought he was doing right. I don't blame him.
What happened after that?
Well, I felt kind of sick the rest of that day. First, I thought I wouldn't say anything to Louise, but that night in the house, I came right out with it. I told her everything that Jim said. I could still see her face getting white, the look in her eyes.
All right. You know everything now. What are you going to do about it?
Louise, tell me it isn't true.
It is true. I love him. You snooped, you found out, all right. I love him. What else do you want me to say?
Louise, the kids. A house.
I'm fed up with it. And I'm fed up with sneaking and the shame. I'm finished.
You mean our marriage? You mean it's off?
Maybe it was never on.
How can you say that, Louise? Louise, you're not going away with him.
Yes, I am.
I see. I see, Louise. Okay. Yeah. Everything was clear to me then. I saw the whole picture. So I walked out of the house. Sure, I could see Jordan's point now. It was plain. Plain as the nose on your face. For the first time, it clicked. I should have figured the angle long ago. It was an old game, old as the hills. You could steal into a guy's house, a house he's paid for and sweated for. You could steal into his house and talk to his wife, get her infatuated, turn her head, talk to his kids, use nice words, be a nice guy. You could talk a lot of big talk about religion and stuff. There is no God. There is no God. You could say those words, and because there isn't a God, you don't have to worry about a guy's wife or his kids or his house. All you gotta worry about is don't get caught. See? Don't get caught. Society doesn't like it. Well, I wasn't worried about society, about what's right and what's wrong. Don't get caught. If that's the game Jordan was playing, then little Ed Gibson can play it too. I walked down to Jefferson Circle that night, Warden. I saw him up on the platform. A couple of 100 people were there, too. And Jordan was going strong. It was the same old stuff.
And in conclusion, if what I say is not true, I defy God to strike me dead on this platform within 5 seconds. I'm timing you, God, do you hear me? I'm giving you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
It's time, Gibson.
All right, Warden, I'm ready.
I can still get a chaplain for you.
No. I can make it alone.
Okay, just as you say, Gibson.
Warden.
Yes, lad?
There's one thing I didn't tell you. Maybe you'd like to know about it.
What is it?
The night I shot Jordan.
Yes.
I ran to where he was lying on the platform.
I see.
His lips were moving. Just whispering. And you know what he was saying? May God have mercy on my soul.
He said that?
Yeah, he said it. The guy who didn't believe in God.
Here's the door, Gibson. Concerning Edward Gibson, legally tried and condemned to death in the Riverton Death House, there is this other unusual fact to remember. After he'd walked through that last door, after the electrode was applied and shortly before the switch was thrown, he was heard to say,
"Oh, my God, have mercy on my soul."
This is Grace Kelly again. A famous writer once observed that life is like a long, slow journey by train across an unknown land. At the start of the trip, we're all eyes and ears and fascinated by so many new sights and sounds, scarcely even caring about our destination. Gradually, we develop into seasoned travelers, and more we begin to look forward to that day when the trip will be over, and there will be no more summits to climb or bridges to cross. So it is to some extent with the journey of life, with the one difference being that every minute of that journey we should be mindful of our final destination, eternal union with Almighty God. And there's a simple way to do that, too, through prayer, daily prayer, and every day as we get closer and closer to our eternal destination, if we're to remember to offer a prayer to God, asking His help and guidance. Depend on it. He will see that our journey's a safe one. And here's something else we can depend on. The family that prays together stays together.
More things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of. From Hollywood, Family Theater has brought you Stopwatch Finale, starring Edmund O'Brien. Grace Kelly was your hostess. Others in our cast were Gene Bates, John Larch, Tudor Owen, and Billy Bockham. The script was written by Timothy J. Mulvey, with music composed and conducted by Harry Zimmerman, and was directed and transcribed for Family Theater by John T. Kelly. This series of Family Theater broadcasts is made possible by the thousands of you who feel the need for this type of program, by the Mutual Network, which has responded to this need, and by the hundreds of stars of stage, screen, and radio who give so unselfishly of their time and talent to appear on our Family Theater stage. To them and to you, our humble thanks. This is George Crowell expressing the wish of Family Theater that the blessing of God may be upon you and your home, and inviting you to be with us next week when Family Theater will present Citizen's Arrest, starring Bob Hope as the host. Join us, won't you?
Transcribed.
This is Mutual, the radio network for all America.
Family Theater with the episode titled Stopwatch Finale, as heard on the Mutual Radio Network September 1st, 1957. That wraps up hour number 1 of Classic Radio Rewind. On the other side of the break, we'll hear from the Bob Hope Show and the Hermit's Cave, and I will bring those episodes to you when we return right after these messages. Welcome back to Classic Radio Rewind. I'm Barry Slinker, and coming up this hour, we're going to hear from the Hermit's Cave. While kicking off this second hour is an episode from The Bob Hope Show. Starring Judy Garland, Bob talks with Judy about her new movie, The Wizard of Oz, which opens very soon. So from March 7th, 1939, and with the release of The Wizard of Oz just months away in August of 39, here is Judy Garland on The Bob Hope Show.
The Pepsodent Show, starring Bob Hope.
The smiles of Pepsodent make bright for merriment. We'll shine tonight with brighter light. Here's hope, that sunny gent.
Thank you so much. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Pepsodent Kid, Bob Hope, still eating 3 meals a day with your teeth. I'm a little tired tonight. I just got back from the Santa Anita Handicap. I would have been here sooner, but I stopped to have my barrel pressed. Santa Anita, that's the outdoor version of you can't take it with you. But really, it's beautiful out there, folks. The grass on the infield is gorgeous. After the 4th race, I had some of it for lunch. And they've enlarged Santa Anita this year, and I want to tell you, the whole place is run just like a machine, a vacuum cleaner. I've never seen so many people in one place. The crowds were so heavy, the pickpockets had to put on extra help. In fact, they were so busy they wouldn't pick the pocket of a tweed suit. The fuzz slowed them up too much. One pickpocket lifted my wallet and the list of the horses I was going to bet on. He took one look at the list, handed me back my wallet, and gave me an extra $1 for car fare. And you should have seen the automobiles out there. I've never seen so many cars. It looked like the backyard of the finance company. I hear Morgenthau wants to trade his job for the parking concession. I came late and had to park at the end of the parking lot. In fact, when I got out of my car, I found out I had paid $0.25 to park in my own driveway. They say it's hard to get back to town in traffic, but I fooled them. I left before the first race. No, I wish I had. Skinny gave me a tip on the handicap. He said the horse can't lose. The jockey's been eating garlic, and the horse will win trying to get away. First time I ever saw a jockey ride a horse backwards. I said, what's the idea of riding a horse backwards? He said, I have to. It makes the horse nervous to have anyone look over his shoulder. Nice horse. Every once in a while, he'd look around to see if his plow was on straight. He was so far behind, his tail showed in the photo finish. Really, the jockey pulled him up so much, it's the first time I ever saw a horse finish with a bit under his tail. I should have known better when I saw the jockey carrying an overnight bag. And now Bill Goodwin.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our guest is that grand little star from MGM, Miss Judy Garland.
And now Skinny Edison, our 6 hits in the Miss Swing Out with Could Be. Take it, talent.
Here comes Skinny. Could be he'll sing us a song.
Could be that yellow moon is just a big balloon, and not that yellow moon above. Could be that angel face is something out of space, and not that angel face I love. Could be this heart of mine is just a valentine, and not this heart of mine at all. Could be a dream I see, but if you're asking me, could be I'm in love, could be.
Shines above, moon is shining so brightly. Could be a baby face, is something out of space. It ain't the kind of face I love, oh no. Could be this heart of mine is just a valentine, and not this heart of mine at all. Could be a dream I see, but if you're asking me, could be that I'm in love, it could be.
Could be this dream I see, but if you're asking me,
really, truly, I'm blowing my top. Could be I'm in love, could be.
Say, Bob, you know, you really looked swell out there at the Santa Anita Derby last Saturday.
Bill, that's Derby. The English say Derby, and the Americans say Derby.
Yeah, and the losers say nuts.
Yeah.
Say, Bob, I hear the owners of the horses out at Santa Anita sit in boxes that have their names on them.
That's right, Bill. There's the Whitney box, the Vanderbilt box, Bradley, Astor.
Yeah, well, what was the name of the box you were sitting in, Bob?
Sun-Kissed. Say, how did you like that suit I had on?
Suit? Where did you get that thing? It looked like it was cut down from a shroud.
Is that so? I'll have you know I was the best-dressed man at Santa Anita. I was a regular Beau Brummel.
Hello, Beau. What do you hear from the other bummels?
Well, Patsy Kelly. Say, Patsy, I saw you out at Santa Anita Saturday.
Santa Anita? Slot machines with horses.
Why, Patsy, it's a privilege to go to a beautiful track like Santa Anita. Why, do you know what the name Santa Anita means?
Oh, yes, I know. It's Spanish for hello, sucker.
Say, weren't you out there with Skinny and his brother?
Yeah, the three of us hitchhiked out there.
Really? Didn't your thumbs get awfully tired?
Oh, no, we didn't have to use our thumbs. We just waved Skinny's brother.
Well, tell me, is his brother that thin?
Thin? Why, that guy has to wear snowshoes when he takes a bath so he won't slide down the drain.
Now, wait a minute, Patsy. Skinny's brother isn't that skinny.
Oh, no, listen. That guy is so thin, he just got himself a daytime job stuffing olives.
Stuffing olives?
Yeah, he crawls through the olives, dragging the pimento behind him.
Hi, everybody. Well, hiya, Skinny.
Well, if it isn't Tremble Tonsil.
Hello, Patsy.
Hello, Bated Breath. Say, why don't you inhale once and see how it feels to rough it?
Now, listen, see here, Kelly. You can't talk to me like that. Don't forget, I'm a man, incidentally.
Incidentally? You mean accidentally.
Listen, Kelly, before you say another word, just take a look at those bulging muscles.
Muscles? Where? I don't see any muscles.
Doggone it, I forgot to put them on tonight.
Say, Patsy, I heard that your family was out here for the big race.
Yeah, they just got here from back east.
Back east, huh? How are things in Pomona?
Yeah.
Say, I suppose they've been out to the studio to watch you make pictures.
Yeah, they came out on the set and watched me work on my last picture.
Say, I saw that picture, Patsy. Say, what were those swallows doing flying across the screen?
Those weren't swallows. My father was sitting on one side of the set and the cuspidor was on the other.
Say, well, what does your family think of our radio program?
Well, I'll give you an idea. I just got a letter from my uncle back in Brooklyn.
Really? What does he say?
Well, here it is. Dear Patsy, the Pepsodent show is much improved. You're much better than you were. Skinny Ennis is much better, and Jerry Colonna is much improved.
Well, doesn't he say anything about me?
Oh, yes, here. P.S. Hope you are the same. So long.
Say, Bob.
Yeah, Bill?
How long was that big race last Saturday?
Well, it was 1.25 miles, Bill.
Well, just what does that mean, Bob?
Well, it means it was the horse's last mile and my last quarter.
Oh, well, now, don't be discouraged, Bob. You know our motto, never say die.
Never say die.
Yeah.
Opens at the Paramount Theater in New York tomorrow. Let me plug. Where were we?
Well,
Never
listen,
say die,
if you ever get another quarter, I know lots of things to do with it.
What, for instance, Bill?
Well, for instance, Bob, for a quarter, you can get a tube of Pepsodent toothpaste. And that's the only toothpaste that contains irium. You know, irium is the lively agent that sparks up Pepsodent's cleansing power. Gently, safely, but ever so quickly, irium helps Pepsodent remove dingy surface stains from your teeth. Persuades your teeth to shine with natural brilliance. Brushing twice a day with Pepsodent Plus irium is like spring cleaning your mouth. It gives you cleaner, brighter, smoother teeth and keeps them at high shining luster. The surefire recipe for $1 million smile is dazzling teeth. So why not invest a quarter now for a tube of Pepsodent toothpaste with irium?
And now may I present one of the most charming and talented members of Hollywood's younger generation, soon to be seen in The Wizard of Oz, MGM singing sensation Miss Judy Garland.
Mr. Hope, I hope that you will not be cross. I hope that you won't think that I'm a bore. But when I heard you sing that lovely song to Shirley Ross, I knew that Gable didn't matter anymore. It had to be you. It had to be you. I looked all around and finally found marvelous you. For you are the one, say what you will. With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. Had to be you.
Why, Judy, I didn't know you felt this way about me.
Mr. Hope, I used to like Clark Gable and Robert Taylor, but you're different.
I know it, Judy. I've been told that before.
Gee, I've seen all your pictures, and I listen to you every time you're on the air, no matter what the rest of the family wants to hear.
Well, I hardly know what to say. Imagine meeting my fan face to face.
But Mr. Hope, it's not that. It's deeper than that. You see, well, you're my crush. You're my dream man. You're my Prince Charming.
Now, wait a minute, Snow White. Let's not have a scene. After all, I may be just a passing fancy in your life.
Oh, no, Mr. Hope. This is the real thing. It's lasted almost 2 whole days.
Gosh, and in Hollywood, too.
Oh, you men are all alike. Always joking. Why, I don't think you even know what it means to have a crush on somebody.
Oh, don't I? How do you think I felt last week when they told me Hedy Lamarr to elope with someone else?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I suppose you feel you just ought to go out and jump off a cliff and end it all.
Well, I want to have a long talk with Madeline Carroll first.
Oh, well, never mind them, Mr. Hope. I'm not like other girls. I'm willing to take you just as you are. Isn't that just too wonderful?
But, Judy, look, I'm flattered. I'm glad that you told me only...
Only what?
Well, do you think I'm your type?
Oh, Mr. Hope, I know I'm not worthy of you, but you don't have to love me right away.
But, Judy, I mean, after all, I'm not exactly...
Oh, I might have known it. Are you somebody else's crush?
Well, not exactly, but, well, there are some strings attached.
Oh. Then you are someone else's crush.
Well, I was, but she married me.
Oh, gee, that's awful. But I can go right on having a crush on you, can't I? From a distance, I mean.
Judy, with so many other handsome men in Hollywood, why did you have to pick on me?
See, Mr. Hope, it was like this. First, I picked out Clark Gable to have a crush on. But I had too much competition. He didn't appreciate me.
Oh, well, what could you expect from that tap dancer?
Then I had a crush on Robert Taylor. But I guess I had too much competition there, too. And after Robert Taylor, all there was left was a choice between you and Tyrone Power.
Tyrone Power? Beauty versus Beast.
And I picked you. I guess I was tired of competition.
Yeah. I guess so.
Oh, Mr. Hope, you're wonderful. Say you'll be the man of my dreams.
But, Judy, really, I'm not the kind of man for you. I'm not good enough for you. Well, I pull little dogs' tails, and I take candy away from babies. And once I gave a canary a hot foot.
You're so brave and masterful.
Well, maybe I am on the surface, but underneath I'm a no-good guy, Judy. Take my word for it. Hope is a louse.
Oh, but you're a good louse.
Yeah. No, Judy, it's no use. We couldn't get along together.
Then you're turning me down?
Don't take it so hard, Judy. None of the others did.
All right. You don't have to tell me. I know. It's the old, old story. It's the woman who pays. I'm sorry I bothered you. Now I know how Greta Garbo felt when Robert Taylor left her in Camille. But don't worry about me, Mr. Hope. I'll recover. Time is a great healer. But I won't forget. I never will. Though you're a cat, I love you still. It had to be you. Wonderful you. Had to be you.
Say, Judy, can a cad say a few words in his own defense before you go? Tell me, why don't you have a crush on someone near your own age?
Well, most of the boys I know think I'm only an in-between. You know, not old enough to be a glamour girl and too old to go around with dolls.
Well, I hope I'm never too old to go around with dolls. But you know, Judy, I've been having the same trouble you've had. Tell me, do you think I'm old enough for Carole Lombard?
Oh, of course.
And I guess she has some other reason.
Gee, that's too bad. Well, so long, Mr. Hope. I've got to go now.
Judy, you can't get away without giving us one of those Garland specials.
Well, all right. Would you like to hear Franklin D. Roosevelt Jones?
Would I? Let's have it.
Hey, Rufus Rastus Brown, spread the news around, all around the town. Say it's a holiday, stop your work and play, hurry on your way. Tell the world about this celebration. This is one thing that concerns the nation. Sing the glory, hallelujah, get Hosanna running through ya. I am here to say it's a big holiday everywhere. For the Jones family has a brand new heir. He's the joy heaven sent, and we proudly present Mr. Franklin D. Roosevelt Jones. When he walks down, he'll never will meet with a name like the name that he got today. When he walks down the street, folks will say, pleased to meet Mr. Franklin D. Roosevelt Jones. What a smile and how he shows it. He'll be happy all day long. What a name! I'll bet he knows it. With that handle, how can he go wrong? And the folks in the town all agree he'll be famous as he can be. How can he be a dud or a stick in the mud when he's Franklin D. Roosevelt Jones? Go to sleep, my baby, and maybe you'll be a Democrat by and by. Oh, you're a lucky baby with Franklin D. for your name. Mrs. Jones's baby boy is a welcome resident. Give him a fishing rod for a toy. He's the future president. Hooray for young Franklin D. Jones. Give a cheer for the babe of the year. How can he be a dud or a stick in the mud? Just you wait and see. He'll make history, 'cause he's Franklin D. Roosevelt
Thank you very much, Judy Garland. That really was great. And now, here's a word from Bill Goodwin, who has a crush on Irium.
Thank you, Bob. Nearly all toothpaste comes in a tube, keeps fresh, and is pleasant enough to taste. You can expect this from any toothpaste. But Pepsodent toothpaste has all of this, plus an important something the others haven't got. The extra something is Irium. That's the lively super addition that steps up Pepsodent's action, brightens the results. Irium helps Pepsodent remove the unattractive surface stains that cloud over your smile. It brings out the natural luster. At least twice a day, night and morning, every day of your life, brush your teeth with Pepsodent toothpaste with Irium, and you'll quickly be rewarded. It won't be long before you'll say, I never dreamed my teeth could sparkle so. I never knew my mouth could feel so fresh, so clean. It certainly feels grand to have well-groomed teeth.
I have eyes to see with, they see only you.
And now Bob Hope brings you his version of that popular new song hit, I Have Eyes.
I have eyes to see.
Bob, shh.
Yes, Bill.
Bob, listen, I have a swell idea how we can both make money.
No, Bill. This year I'm going to pay my income tax.
No, that isn't what I mean. I think we ought to become spies. Shh. Important spies.
Don't be silly, Bill. There's no money in spying.
Oh, no? Did you ever see a house detective on relief?
Yeah, I guess spying is a good racket if you don't lose your head.
You can be famous, Bob. Really, you can be famous. Think of the great spies in history. Think of Mata Hari.
Ah, yes. Mata Hari.
And think of Nathan Hale and Jonathan Daly and Benedict Arnold.
I can't, Bill.
Why not?
I'm still thinking of Mata Hari. But really, Bill, I couldn't be a spy. I don't know how to act.
Bob, let's leave your picture work out of this.
Yeah. All right, Bill, I'll go into the spy racket with you, but I'll have to get a spy suit.
A spy suit? What's that?
Oh, it's nothing. You just go out with a bloodhound and a black coat and vest.
And what pants?
The bloodhound.
Well, come on, Bob. Let's get busy.
Okay.
The Hope and Goodwin Spy Salon, a snitch in time pays the rent. What's that? Are Hope and Goodwin very good at shadowing people in dark alleys? Well, I should say so. They're real slinkers. No, I said slinkers. Okay, just a minute. It's for you, Cheese.
Cheese, Patsy, that's Chief. Take the script and read it.
That's Cheese. Take the script and smell it.
That's Cheese. I'll take the script and eat it. Hello?
This is Spy Number 1X reporting from Africa, Chief.
Greetings, Spy 1X. Where's Spy 2X? Isn't he with you?
No, Chief. The cannibals had 2X for breakfast.
Come in.
Hello?
Hello. Say, Bill, look, she's beautiful. What grace?
Yeah, what form?
What telephone number?
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Vanya Tanya Sonia Henya Notgranovich Babuchka. Oh, but you can call me Tutski.
Well, what do you want with me?
Oh, I need help. If you do not help me, I shall have to kill you.
Kill me? Kill me?
Yes. I will shoot you or stab you or poison you. Or take you in my arms and squeeze you to death, smothering you with kisses. How would you like that?
I'd like that. Say, where do you come from, Tootsie Whatski?
I come from the little country of Schlemilia.
Schlemilia! What a small world this is.
Ah, yes. I shall never forget my last day in Schlemilia. Bombs bursting. People were dropping like flies. The streets were covered with blood. Oh, it was so beautiful.
I can see. Look, Tootski, what can I do for you?
You must save me from my cousin, the ambassador from Schlemilia, rat-faced the repulsive.
Well, what happens if I find him?
Undoubtedly, he will kill you.
And what happens if I don't find him?
Undoubtedly, I will kill you.
What's in it for me?
Either way, you'll be buried with full military honors. Until then, I say, hello.
Come on, Patsy, we got to go to the Schlemielian embassy.
Right. Hello? Oh, it's for you, Chief.
For me? Hello.
Mr. Hope.
Yes?
Say, listen, you'll never catch me, you old spidery spy, because you're just a ham, and hams can't fly. I ask myself this as I flit on my way. Is Hope a big dope? Oh, boy, I'll say.
Say, who is this?
Oh, just a great big stork.
A stork? What are you doing here with me?
Just looking over one of my mistakes.
Come on, Patsy. Let's go to the embassy and meet Ratface the Repulsive. Here we are. This looks like the embassy.
Yeah, look at that sign. Embassy of Schlemilia. Office hours 12:30 to 1. Treaties broken Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Goodwin, you stay outside, and if we have any trouble with Ratface, blow up the embassy.
Right, Chief. Are you armed?
And how? I'm armed to the teeth.
Say, you'd better not yawn or that club will fall out.
Ring the bell, Patsy.
Hello?
Tootski.
Hoopski.
Runsky.
No, Patsy, don't run. I'm right behind you. Where's Ratface, Tootski?
Here comes Ratface now!
Greetings, Rat. Meet a diplomat.
Why, it's Professor Colonna with the Bay Rum Aroma. Tell me, are you the ambassador?
Ah, yes, and I'm the President, Secretary of War, Navy, State, Interior, Exterior. In fact, I'm the whole Schlemiel.
I can believe that.
And who is the little wren with you?
This is Matta Kelly, the international spy. She loves you, Professor.
Ah, my little Matta. You've made me so much glatter, and all my cares will scatter because your heart belongs to Data.
Professor, tell me, were you ever caught as an ambassador without portfolio?
Ah, yes. Briefcase, wasn't it?
What has been your worst experience, Professor?
Once, for no reason, I was held for treason and placed against the wall to be shot.
Did they shoot you?
I don't know, Knave. I was blindfolded. Will you pardon me? I feel a bomb coming on.
Ambassador, you've blown up the whole block. Why did you throw that bomb into the street?
I love parking space.
Well, Professor, your goose is cooked.
Why so, Knave?
I can prove that you're a traitor and have been carrying on with the enemy spies, Sonia the snitch.
What proof have you?
I was in a closet and took a picture of you kissing Sonia. Here, look at the picture. What do you think of that?
Not bad. I'll take a half a dozen.
Come on, Hope. Let's get out of this place. This guy's a screwball.
Yes, isn't he? Who said that? I did. And I apologize, Colonna. I'm sorry I insulted you. Silence. I refuse to accept your apology. I am a screwball. Colonna, you are not. I am. All right, you are. Oh, so you admit it. Take that. That's one tooth gone. And that. And that. Help! I'm shooting off my mouth.
Come on, Patsy. It's nearly midnight. Goodwin should be getting ready to light the fuse.
Oh. Hey, look, the radio station blew up.
Well, I carried out your instructions, Bob.
But I told you to blow up the embassy.
Embassy? Great Scott, I thought you said NBC.
And thanks for the memory. If one more friend we've made with our small cavalcade, it's evident that Pepsodent will keep us on parade. So thank you so much.
Say, excuse me, Bob, but I hear you're having Jack Oakey as your guest star next week.
Yeah, and I'm really happy about that, Bill, for that great guy, great comedian Jack Oakey. And then we're going to have Patsy Kelly, Skinny Ennis and his band, our six hits and a miss, Jerry Colonna, and
Bob Hope.
Thank you, Bill Goodman. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
I Have Eyes is from Paris Honeymoon, and this is Bill Goodwin speaking. Don't forget, Pepsodent with Irium brings you Bob Hope next Tuesday night at this same time. Good night.
Joe has a slight cold. Emily has the grip. Tom is home with flu. Makes you wonder when your turn is coming. Well, don't wait for flu or grip or a cold to strike you before you do something. Start now this very evening to help guard against this epidemic. Gargle with Pepsodent Antiseptic. Because it contains chlorothymol, Pepsodent Antiseptic kills germs in seconds, even when diluted with 2 parts water. Pepsodent Antiseptic containing chlorothymol reduces the germ count in your mouth as much as 97%. And here's something to remember. No other leading brand can match Pepsodent's extraordinary germ-killing power. So gargle with Pepsodent Antiseptic tonight. Taste chlorothymol in action and know that it's killing germs. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
That was the Bob Hope Show with Judy Garland from March 7th, 1939. And lastly, on Classic Radio Rewind, we have an episode from the Hermit's Cave. A nurse begins working for a family that conveniently left out the fact that his wife recently died. With no specific air date other than being in 1940, here is the Hermit's Cave with Buried Alive.
The Mummers in the Little Theater of the Air.
Murders, too. The Hermit knows of them all. Turn out your lights. Turn them out. Ah. Have you heard the story? Buried alive, eh? Then listen while the Hermit tells you the story.
me out of this room. Help! Can't you hear me calling? Where are you? Let me out of this room, I say. Do you want to drive me mad? Why have you locked me in here? Bruce, where are you? Come here and let me out of this room. Lenore. Lenore. Oh, I've got to find her, and you won't let me out of this room. Help! Oh, it's no use. No use. I can't get out. No use. Locked in. Windows are locked. I can't get them open. No use. If I could get them open, it's too far to jump. Why am I locked in? Lenore. Lenore. I hear you calling me, Lenore. I hear you calling. I hear you. But they won't let me out of this room. I'm locked in. Help! Someone let me out of this room. Let me out. Lenore is calling me. She needs me. Bruce, where are you? Let me out of here. I've got to help Lenore. Let me out of here. I'll break the door down. Let me out. Someone come and let me out. I've got to help Lenore. Help. Someone help me. Help. Lenore. I'll close this door so that his calling won't disturb us. There, that's better.
Is that your brother we hear calling?
Yes, Miss Dawson.
Oh.
You don't need to be frightened. If he sounds insane, it's because of the great calamity, the great shock that he's just had.
I understand, Mr. Judson.
I hope that you do, Miss Dawson, for upon your understanding of the case will his recovery largely rest.
Yes, sir.
You've brought your credentials with you?
Yes, sir.
May I see them?
They're right here in my purse. Just a minute, I'll find them. Yes, here, Mr. Judson.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is right. Miss Marion Dawson, registered nurse. And a letter of recommendation from Dr. Simmons.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I think you'll do very nicely. You look very capable and professional.
Thank you, sir.
Did Dr. Simmons explain anything about the case to you?
Well, not very much, Mr. Judson. He only said that your brother was suffering from shock and that
That's all right. I'll explain the case to you.
Yes, sir.
Before I take you up to his room... Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't been very thoughtful. Won't you remove your hat and coat?
Thank you.
Here, let me help you. Ah. Well, you look even more professional. There's something about a white uniform that does give a person prestige.
I came dressed to go on duty immediately. Dr. Simmons said that you'd want me to.
You did quite right. Now, sit down, won't you?
Thank you.
Now, Miss Dawson, it's my only blood relation living that you heard calling for help from upstairs. My brother, whose life I value more than mine.
Yes, sir.
Last night, we buried his wife.
Oh,
He'd only been married to her a month.
how tragic.
Well, death is not always tragedy, but this death happened to be. For Lenore was not only young, but beautiful. My brother and I were traveling when we met her 6 weeks ago.
Oh?
A young girl, without family, but a charming girl nevertheless. Arnold fell desperately in love with her. In 2 weeks, they were married. We returned to our country estate here. A week later, she was taken ill. Last night, we buried her.
It's awful, isn't it? Well, no wonder your poor brother's mind is deranged.
You have not heard all the tragedy yet. She suffered from a strange malady. Because of it, my brother was not allowed to see her from the hour she was taken ill.
I see.
I could not have my brother's life endangered.
Naturally not.
We allowed no one to see her. Dr. Simmons attended her. When she died, we buried her without ceremony and immediately. I didn't allow even the servants to come in contact with some strange disease which might sweep us all to death.
But you?
Yes, I cared for her. The hours of my life may be counted right now, as well as those of Dr. Simmons. But that doesn't matter. It's my brother Arnold with whom I'm concerned. That's why I've called you in to care for him.
Yes, sir.
And this is the point that you must understand. My brother Arnold doesn't realize that Lenore is dead and buried.
That's not unusual, sir. Many people are like that about death. They won't accept it or believe it.
I've had to lock him in his room, bolt down the windows, to keep him from rushing out to find her.
Perhaps if he'd seen her dead, sir,
You forget, she died of some strange malady. That was impossible.
Yes, of course.
The worst part of it is that he keeps thinking he hears her calling to him. Claims that he hears her voice.
Oh.
That's why he wants to get out of his room and go to her. That's why you'll have to watch over him, carefully. Don't allow him out of your sight. Humor him, but guard him carefully. Remember, my brother's life and sanity may depend upon the good care you give him.
I'll do my best, Mr. Judson.
I'm sure you will. You realize that I love my brother. You'll be well paid for your services on this assignment, Miss Dawson. All I ask is that you carry out my orders explicitly. Don't let him out of his room or out of your sight. Now I'll take you up to him. If you'll just come along this way. Open the door. Open the door, Bruce. Open this door. It will be your duty to get him to quiet down. Keep him from pounding on this door.
Yes, sir.
I presume that Dr. Simmons suggested that you give him sedatives.
I'll get him quiet, sir.
Open the door. If you don't open it this minute, I'll smash the windows. I'll jump to the ground. Let me out. I'll unlock the door now. I'm going to unlock the door now, Arnold. Get away from the door. Let me out. I've got to go to Lenore. Now, step back, Arnold. Bruce, where is she? She's been calling to me. Why did you lock that door? Let me go to her. Go lie down on your bed, Arnold. No, never. Don't you understand? Lenore has been calling for me. She needs me. Come now, lie down.
Won't you lie down and rest, sir?
Who is she? Well, this is Miss Dawson, Arnold. She's come to care for you till you're well again. I'm not ill. It isn't I, it's Lenore. And you won't let me go to her. Bruce, why are you doing this? Unlock the door and let me go to her. There, now, it's all right. Everything's all right. Miss Dawson will care for you. You'll get a good rest. And when you wake up, you'll feel a lot better.
Your brother's right.
I'll leave you now. It's 8 o'clock. I'll have your dinner served in here immediately. If you need me for anything, I'll be down in the library till near 11 o'clock. Then I'll retire.
Yes, sir.
My room is the fourth one down on the right. Call for me if you need me during the night.
I will, Mr. Judson.
Wait a minute. Don't go, Bruce. Tell me what Lenore is. What is it that's wrong? Why can't I see her? Why have you locked me in here? I've tried to tell you, Arnold. You won't believe me. Perhaps Miss Dawson can explain after I leave. Ring this buzzer if you need to get out of the room. You understand, Miss Dawson? Now get away. Get away from the door, Arnold. What? He's locking the door again. He's locking us in.
He knows what's best. Now come lie on your bed.
No.
I'm going to give you something so that you can rest.
What's wrong with Lenore?
Lie down on your bed and I'll tell you.
She's ill, and they won't let me see her.
Here. I want you to take some of these tablets.
I won't take any medicine.
I'll get a glass of water.
I tell you, I won't take anything that will make me sleep. Lenore is calling to me. She needs me.
Now take these, please. They won't make you sleep. They'll just calm your nerves. Take them and I'll tell you about Lenore.
Have you seen her? What is it that's wrong?
Take these tablets first.
All right.
There. That's it.
Are you here in the house to take care of her? What's wrong?
Lie down now. There, that's better.
You promised to tell me.
Close your eyes. I'm going to turn off the light so that you can rest.
Answer me.
Don't you understand? Your wife was very ill. She suffered from a disease that was contagious. Your brother couldn't let you see her. But now she's out of her pain. You see...
No, she's not dead. I know she's not dead.
It's hard to believe, I know.
She's not dead, I know that. What? Listen. You hear that? You hear that?
No, sir. I hear nothing.
You must hear it. It's Lenore. She's calling to me. All day she's called to me. All last night, all the hours of the night, she's called to me. She's calling now. Can't you hear her? She's still in this house. She's not dead. She's in this house and she's calling to me. Calling to me.
You're all right. I'm right here beside your bed.
What's happened?
You've been asleep.
Sleep? How long?
It's nearly midnight. You've been sleeping since I first came into the room.
You gave me medicine. You forced me to sleep.
You needed the rest.
Where's my brother?
He's retired, sir. The whole house is quiet. If you'd like me to get you something to eat,
No,
I'll...
but I've got to get out of here. What's that? Listen. What was that?
It sounded like someone at the door.
It is. Open the door. It may be Lenore. I don't hear her calling, but it may be her.
It can't be her. But I'll see who it is. Who's there?
Unlock the door.
I have to ring for your brother if I want the door unlocked. I have no key. Who's there?
Who's outside the door? Is it you, Lenore? Why don't you answer?
I guess we must have been mistaken. There's no one outside the door.
Someone knocked at the door.
I think we must have been mistaken.
Listen. There is someone outside. What? They're tapping on the door again.
It does sound like it. But when I called, there was no one there.
Look.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Doesn't it seem to you as if the door was slowly opening?
Yes, it is.
It's like it was opening all by itself.
But the door is locked.
Well, that may be, but that door is opening all by itself.
How can it be?
Oh. Look. Standing in the doorway. It's Lenore.
Oh, great heavens.
Lenore, you're not dead. You're here. They told me you were dead. Lenore. She's leaving again. Where are you going? Wait. She's vanished.
Oh.
She just vanished, but now look. She's standing at the head of the stairs. She's waving for me to follow her. Lenore, I'm coming. I see you.
Stop! Oh, Mr. Judson, help! Come here quickly. He's gotten out of the room. Oh, Mr. Judson, please come quickly. Oh,
what is it, Miss Dawson? Well, what is it?
Oh, Mr. Judson, he's gone down the stairs.
What?
Are you sure, sir, that Lenore is dead?
Of course I'm sure. What are you talking about?
I don't know, sir. But a woman dressed all in white just stood in the doorway of your brother's room. She moved down the hall, and now he's gone to follow her. He said it was Lenore.
Hurry, stop him. Don't let him get away. It can't be Lenore. She's dead. Dead! Hurry, we've got to get Arnold back to his room.
If Lenore is dead, how can she appear in the doorway of the room? Eh? The hermit will tell you before the night is done.
Now, the hermit again.
follows a figure dressed all in white that beckons him out of the house. Nurse Dawson and Mr. Judson follow after him.
Wait for me, Lenore. Where are you going? Wait for me. Wait for me. Lenore. Lenore, I'm coming. I'm coming, Lenore. Wait for me. Come on. Hurry. Come on. There he is. Up ahead of us. I see him.
Yes. Yes, I see him, too.
Arnold. Stop. Wait a minute. Wait for us.
He's running faster.
Why did you ever let him get out of the room?
I couldn't help it. The door opened. I don't know how. She was standing there.
Have you gone out of your mind? How could a door open by itself? And who could be standing in the doorway?
He said it was Lenore.
Nonsense. Arnold! Wait for us. Wait! Wait. I don't see him now. Where's he gone?
He turned down that side road, sir. Just now.
He's liable to get out on the highway and be killed. We've got to stop him.
This way. He went this way.
Yeah. I see him now. Arnold! Stop where you are. We're coming.
Lenore. Lenore.
You must come back to the house, Arnold.
She disappeared.
You didn't see anyone, Arnold?
Yes, I did. I saw Lenore. As for the nurse, she knows. Lenore stood in the doorway of my room. She beckoned me to follow her all the way down the road. Now she's vanished here in the park somewhere.
Don't you realize, Arnold, that Lenore is dead? She couldn't have stood in your doorway. She couldn't have beckoned you out of the house. She's dead.
She wouldn't speak to me. She just waved for me to follow her. And now she's gone.
We must get my brother back to the house, Miss Dawson.
Yes, sir.
Now, come, Arnold. We're going home now.
We'll take you home now, Arnold. You and I must have been mistaken. We didn't see anyone.
No. We were not mistaken. For look. Look. Up ahead of us. It's Lenore. There she is again. Great heaven. I see you. Wait for me. I'm coming.
Stop him. Stop him. We've got to stop him.
We can never catch him this time. He's running so fast.
Oh, he mustn't go that way. No. No.
Arnold. Arnold, wait for us. Wait. Look, Mr. Judson. Look where he's going.
I see him. He can't go that way. No. Arnold, stop. You can't go there. No. We've got to stop him. He can't go there. We must stop him before...
Wait, let go of me. Let go of me. You can't stop me now.
I'll not let you go in that vault.
Let go of my arm, Bruce. You can't stop me. Lenore went in there.
I'm trying to save you for your own good, for the sake of the sanity of your mind. Your wife lies in her coffin in that vault. You couldn't have seen her. She didn't beckon you to come here. It's just a trick of your mind.
I'm going into this vault.
You can't go inside. She died of a contagious disease. You may get it too, Arnold.
Nothing can stop me now. I'm going inside.
Oh.
Lenore. Where are you, Lenore?
Come back out there. You'll only find her lying in there dead.
We'd better follow him, sir. He's likely to faint when he sees her.
Arnold, come out here.
Look. Lord. Lenore.
You see, she is dead. What did I tell you? Now come away.
Oh, look. She's on the floor of the vault. Oh.
Come away from here.
I found her here on the floor of the vault.
She's dead.
She's dead now. But she wasn't dead when you brought her here. No. My brother knows that. You know that, Bruce Judson.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. You buried her alive.
Oh! You're insane.
Insane, am I? You know I found you out.
Because you find her body on the floor, you think I buried her alive? Why, the coffin tipped over, that's all.
You buried her alive. She got out of the coffin, but she couldn't get out of the vault. Only her spirit could do that. I heard her voice before she really died down in here, calling me. She called to me. But you locked me in my room. And then her spirit came to me tonight to tell me what had happened. Oh, Lenore.
Oh, what a terrible thing. You did that to your brother and that woman.
What if I did? What if I did do it? She's dead now, isn't she? Forever. She fell in love with Arnold, not me. Now she's dead. Forever. Sure, I planned it, plotted it. It worked out. The medicine I gave her made her sleep the sleep of death. And we buried her alive. We buried her alive. Buried her alive.
And the brother who had planned such a heinous crime will live in a world of mad darkness from now on. The compensation for his crime. Turn on your lights. Turn them on. I'll be back. Pleasant dreams.
All characters, places, and occurrences mentioned in the Hermit's Cave are fictitious, and similarity to persons, places, or occurrences is purely accidental.
That was The Hermit's Cave with Buried Alive, originally heard sometime in 1940. I'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back to Classic Radio Rewind, and returning to Old Time Radio USA on June 6th, we are honored and proud to air our D-Day Remembrance Special. This is a special 34-hour tribute featuring the first 34 hours from CBS Radio from June 6th and June 7th, 1944. And all of this begins at 2 a.m. Eastern Time, June 6th, over on our Old Time Radio USA streaming station. And as always, we've made it super easy to listen to our Old Time radio stations live. You can go to the WOTR Radio Network website at www.wotrradionetwork.com, where you can listen there on the website directly and find all the different platforms and ways you can listen. And the best part, it's all free, all day, every day. So for the WOTR Radio Network and Classic Radio Rewind, I thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back next week with more from the Golden Age of Radio. And until next time, we'll see you on the air. And this is Barry Slinker saying goodbye for now.